She looked straight at me and asked, "So, are you good in bed?" I froze, not because of the question, but because I hadn't answered that question in 4 years, not since that night. I should have laughed it off. I should have made a joke. Instead, I told her the truth, and everything changed. I moved into that neighborhood to disappear, not physically, just socially. It was one of those quiet streets where nothing really happened. Same cars, same routines, same people pretending they weren't watching each other through their windows. Perfect for someone like me. I kept my life simple. Work, home, repeat. No late-night outings, no friends dropping by, no unnecessary conversations. I liked it that way, or at least I convinced myself I did. My mornings were always the same. Coffee, silence, phone on Do Not Disturb. Evenings were quieter, just me, a dim light, and whatever thoughts I couldn't shut off. 4 years is a long time to carry something. But if you never talk about it, it almost feels like it never happened. Almost. I didn't know anyone on that street, didn't try to until her. She moved in 3 houses down. I noticed her the same way everyone else did, because she didn't try to blend in. Loud laugh, confident walk. The kind of person who made eye contact a second longer than normal, like she already knew something about you. The first time we spoke, I was getting my mail. "Hey," she said casually, leaning against her car like we'd met before. "You always this quiet or just with strangers?" I gave a small shrug. "Depends on the stranger," she smirked. Fair enough. That was it, short, simple. But after that it kept happening, small conversations, passing comments, nothing deep. She'd ask random questions, not surface-level stuff, real ones. Like she was testing how far she could go before I shut down, and I always stayed just out of reach. But she noticed. I could tell. It happened on a random evening. I was outside fixing something on my car, nothing important, just an excuse to stay busy. She walked over like she always did, casual, confident, like she belonged anywhere she stood. We talked for a minute, normal stuff. Then, out of nowhere, she tilted her head slightly and asked, "So, are you good in bed?" Everything stopped. The world didn't get quiet, it just got distant. Like her voice had to travel through something heavy to reach me. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Because in that moment, I wasn't standing next to my car anymore. I was somewhere else, 4 years ago. And I hadn't heard that question since. Back then, my life wasn't quiet. It was full. I was with someone who made everything feel easy. Conversations didn't take effort. Silence didn't feel awkward. It just worked. We had history, time, trust. Or at least I thought we did. One night we were lying in bed talking about nothing important. The kind of conversation that drifts without direction. And then she asked it. "Are you good in bed?" I laughed at first, thought she was joking. But she was. There was something behind it, something I didn't catch in time, so I answered honestly. Not confidently, not playfully, just honestly. I said, "I don't know, I just try to make you happy." That should have been enough, but it was. That answer turned into a conversation. That conversation turned into an argument. And that argument turned into something I didn't see coming. Doubt. Not just about that moment, but about everything. It wasn't really about the question. It was what it uncovered. Things we hadn't said, things we avoided. And once those things came out, there was no putting them back. We didn't end that night, but we ended because of it. Slowly. Quietly, painfully. After that, I stopped answering questions like that. Stopped opening up. Stopped letting people get close enough to ask. 4 years went by, and I never said anything real again. "You okay?" Her voice pulled me back. She was still standing there watching me carefully. Not smiling this time, just waiting. I could have lied, I could have laughed it off, made a joke. Changed the subject. That's what I'd been doing for 4 years. But something about the way she asked, it didn't feel like a trap. It felt like a door. So I took a breath and said the one thing I hadn't said in years. "I don't know anymore." She didn't interrupt. "I haven't been close to anyone in a long time," I added. "Not like that." The words felt strange coming out, heavy, real, but I didn't stop. "I used to think I did," I said quietly, "but things change." There was a long pause. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I needed to fill it. She didn't laugh, didn't tease, didn't make it awkward. Instead, she nodded slightly like she understood more than she was saying. "That makes sense," she said. We ended up sitting on the curb, talking longer than we ever had before. Not about anything specific, just life. She told me things too. Not everything, but enough to make it clear she wasn't just asking random questions for fun. She had her own reasons, her own past. And somehow, without realizing it, I started talking more than I had in years. Not all at once, but piece by piece. The walls I'd built didn't come down. But for the first time, they didn't feel permanent. At some point, I noticed something strange. I wasn't thinking about leaving the conversation. I wasn't checking the time. I wasn't looking for an exit. I was just there. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel alone. After a while, she looked at me and smiled slightly. "You know," she said, "I didn't mean it the way you think." I frowned a little. "Then why ask it like that?" she shrugged. "Because I knew you wouldn't answer a normal question." That caught me off guard. She continued, "You're the kind of person who avoids anything real." So I had to ask something unexpected. I let that sink in. "You've been watching me?" I asked. "Not in a creepy way," she said quickly, smiling, "just noticing." Then her expression softened. "You look like someone who hasn't been honest in a long time." She wasn't wrong, and somehow that didn't bother me. We didn't define what that moment was, didn't label it, didn't rush it. But something changed, not everything, just enough. The next morning felt different, not brighter, not perfect, just lighter, like something I'd been carrying finally shifted. 4 years ago, that question broke something in me. It exposed things I wasn't ready to face, and I spent years avoiding anything that could bring that feeling back. But this time, it didn't break me. It reminded me that maybe the problem wasn't the question, it was who I was answering it with. And for the first time in 4 years, I didn't feel like I had to stay silent anymore.